Girl, he was so freaky. I just laid back and let him go, child. Portia DeYoung, aka Pat, Persephone's newfound friend from the office, had phoned her this Saturday morning, as Portia had promised her she would do. Portia girl! Persephone didn't particularly like Portia's sex reports. They sometimes made her uncomfortable because she would announce them to Persephone at the oddest places, like in the movies when she was sure some handsome guy, usually with his girlfriend, was sitting within earshot trying to fight a Woody and calm down his irritated girlfriend with a box of popcorn and a beverage. At least that was the excuse he'd use to get up and go after Portia. Portia was out there. She was a stunning, plum brown skinned sister girl of medium height with a keen, diamond shaped face and slightly slanted gray eyes. They gave her an exotic animal look that she played up with thick, black, near waist length hair, which she said had to be kept up braided in six thick plaits when she was a little girl because she hated getting her hair combed or pressed. She had three older brothers, and she was the baby girl. Her mother had insisted that each son do something with his life after high school. When the older boy went into real estate, the other brother followed suit, and they lived upper middle class lives because of that. The story was different for Wayne, the youngest boy. First, he was a star running back at Michigan State University. Persephone could remember reading about that. Then he went pro and played with the Los Angeles Raiders. Persephone remembered seeing his handsome face on TV. But just 2 months into his professional career, he was carried off the field on the shoulder of a his on the shoulder of a teammate. He had shattered his kneecap. Game over, man. Portia admitted openly to being spoiled rotten as a child. Their father had died when she was only 2 years old, and he left a fat life insurance policy for her mother to cash in on, which she did. Portia mentioned visiting Wayne in California for Christmas, and she said he always paid for her and her guests to have first class tickets. After the knee injury and the loss of the pro career, he switched to selling used cars in Compton. He did fairly well, and it opened two more lots in South Central. You think you feel like shopping later? Persephone quiz. I always feel like shopping, but not at no damn Northland. Shit, be too many of them young ass hoods out there trying to go for bad. Portia decided. Let's try Somerset. I can leave my car parked in front of the building. Shit, Roscoe and them usually don't leave till 10 or so anyway, so that way somebody up in there can keep an eye out. She paused. Oh, and listen, Missy Persephone, the very next time you come bringing that Kmart wearing Mona with you when we partying, tell me so I can stay home at night, okay? She don't dress from Kmart, girl. Okay, maybe Mary Ann's, but not Kmart. Cut the girl some slack, Portia. Persephone hated the way Portia always tried to make Sue and Mona look stupid or like they lacked in class and social etiquette. This was the same Portia who had gone crazy on a shocked blonde sales lady in Saks when a woman admired the big diamond Portia wore on her left ring finger. Is it zirconia? She had asked. The woman was just curious. It wasn't a judgment. Hell no. This shit is real. What the fuck I look like up in here to you? Portia at last lashed out to the lady. Portia continued on the phone. Wheresoever she get that cheap ass shit from, I don't want her around me when I party. Shit, have people thinking I know her or something. She quickly changed topics. So, Somerset? Shit, I may as well start shopping for my Christmas vacation clothes. You getting yours ready? Just when someone clicked in on Portia's call waiting. Hold on, Seth, Portia said and put Persephone on hold for maybe 10 seconds. Girl, it's Larry. He calling from practice. I got to go, Portia said and hung up. Must be nice dating one of the world champions, thought Persephone, even though Larry Corn didn't play during the championship years of the Pistons, and they were trading off most of the team anyway. Larry was still a Detroit Piston. A rookie Piston, but a Piston. And fine. Ooh. Mm, mm, mm. Portia said she had met him 2 weeks before at a benefit her brothers were holding for small black businesses in Detroit. She had given him her 7 digits then, but he didn't call her until later. Portia was a bright spot in the office, especially with her wild stories about what this city councilman did with a girlfriend of hers, or how she knew about Mayor Young's son before his girlfriend filed a paternity suit, and juicy little gossip about Detroit's rich and famous Afro American community. But where Portia was the bright spot, LaQuisha Beulah was the angry cloud that hovered over the office. The latest incident had happened just the day before. Sue had complained of having some money missing out of her purse, and Mona said that the week before $50 had walked out of her purse, and she hadn't said anything. At the time, Mona probably thought her unemployment don't want no job boyfriend took her money, but when Sue said something, she mentioned her loss as well. Sally quickly called a meeting, announced that there was a thievery problem, and made it clear that she wasn't going to have it. Because the meeting was called before Beulah's 2 hours were up, Beulah assumed that they were making an accusation toward her. She immediately protested that she wasn't stealing nothing and that they, Sue and Mona, were just tripping. I ain't take no $50 and I ain't take no 20. Sue hadn't said how much money she was taking, and it didn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out who the thief was after that meeting. After Beulah left for the day, Sally said she would tell Roscoe later and have him talk to her, but in the meantime, they were to watch they shit, as Sally put it. Persephone thought, I ain't never worked in no office where they had a rabid pit bull on a leash. But working with Beulah was similar to that. She cussed out Mona and Sue like it wasn't nothing. And poor Sky would just always busy herself with something whenever Beulah was in her area. She had maybe exchanged 5 words with the woman. A few months ago, Sally had the brilliant idea to turn what was once the checking room, which now only had a small refrigerator and a microwave, into a special place for Beulah. She slid one of the desks from up front in there and told Beulah that it was her office. That had worked for a while. Beulah was also taking off phone duty and given the duty of stocking books. That meant Beulah had to sit in that room and draw 3 long diagonal lines on the white legal pad the girls used to write the call-ins on. Of course, she could use carbon paper or to make the work progress better, but for 2 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, that was Beulah's job. Beulah had access to the purses because it was her duty to check the desk each day before she left to make sure the phone girls had enough books available in case they ran out.